Hey everyone, Dan here. We are after hours on Wednesday, March 24th. Wanted to take a look at a few tickers that we've been tracking. Before we get started, if the audio is weird or different, I am moving to a new place, and this is my first recording in that place. And so apologies if it's a little off, but we will get it right if there's some adjustments that need to be made. Also, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. And let's get right into it. So HOFV had a heck of a day the last few days, actually. This is the 5-minute chart, but let's take a gander at the 30. It'll show us a few days. So we have a big pump up, a bit of a dip, actually sort of retraced all the way, and then a huge pump up, and now coming down part of the way. So basically, what I had said, I believe it was yesterday or 2 days ago, after this pump, was basically to look for it to come down nearly all the way or about 3/4 of the way, just because HOFV does have a history of doing that from pumps. And it was in this channel previously, and then it fell out. And then with the price strength after hours yesterday, it was able to get itself back into the channel and now has since fallen out. So, I'm watching it closely. It does have all of these levels of support now, but, if history is any indication, it does just like to do this kind of like pump up and then draw back quite a bit. Pump up, draw back all the way. Pump up, draw back quite a bit. So it's already down quite a bit. So it's just having a hard time establishing like true price strength and riding a channel up. Granted, it's a very steep channel to try to hold, so it's not that I expected it to do that. But, just look at where it started. This pump was basically at, let's just say, $4. And right now, it's all the way back down to below $5.50, and have made it all the way up to $8.68. So I still think that if this can get some price strength, some more good news, which might be a lot to ask. How many catalysts can a company have day after day after day? I still think that there could be $10 in sight here, but it has a lot of work to do. And first thing is first, getting caught by these levels of support and sort of springboarding off of them and working to get underneath this channel would be the foremost thing. If not, there's sort of these big drops that come here below this 523 level, all the way down to 487, and then all the way down to 428. So, it did bounce off of this 386, which we had charted before, but that was basically just to say, like, that's the cut loss, or at least that was my opinion at the time, and it just sort of bounced straight off of it. So it's nice to see the chart sort of holding up from day to day, but, I would be cautious with this one and just sort of see how it reacts to these initial blue support and resistance zones where it currently is right now. Space was my exciting dip buy last week. It has become slightly less exciting, but good signs here potentially. Let's just mark this so we can refer back to it. There's some double bottoming here that we should keep an eye on. If that holds, that's going to be a good sign because space does have a strong tendency to double bottom and double top and use that to rise up or to pull back. So it's obviously the green is now hitting its head against this 2946, but these levels are holding really well, just meaning the chart itself as it was drawn is holding up really, really well. Because this stretches back. We drew this chart a long time ago at this point. In the trading world, it was a long time ago. But, that's March 10th and that's March 12th. So there's only so long that you can expect your chart to hold up. But this is doing really well in my opinion. But, I do think that space is getting into like additional really good deal territory. But obviously, the dip that I had bought here, we have now dipped significantly below that. That dip that I was buying there was about $31 or so. We're $3 off of that. So that's like a 10% drop for this stock. So pretty painful on that side of things, but do your homework, look into it, see sort of how strong your conviction is in something like SPCE, and sort of make your decision from that, and blending it with the chart. The chart is not everything. It's just an additional guide. AMC has had, obviously, previous channels that it's fallen out of. It's had a pretty atrocious day. Like I said yesterday, if it can't hold this 1009 level, it's going to be a really quick drop below 950. It's exactly what we saw. It only took it 2-hour candles to drop all the way down there, and that's a big percentage loss. It's potentially trying to reverse after hours. We'll see if this holds, this little double bottom here holds at all, or if it just sort of continues to give in to the selling pressure that it's feeling and not be able to sustain itself. After we get past that, if we do, then there's a pretty quick drop again to 850. If you recall, several weeks ago, if you've been watching for a while, 911, which is the point where it's at right now, basically that's the price zone that it's at. When it was down in the 8s and certainly in the 7s, I just kept saying 911 is its most important price zone to get strength at and then springboard off of. And back then, that's what we saw. It finally worked itself up to 911, established it as support, and then pretty quickly got up several dollars. So it's unfortunate to see it back here, but this is just often what happens with these sort of magnetic price zones that we draw, and that the stock will follow it for a certain period of time. And I still think that this chart is holding up really strong for AMC. So good luck if you're in any of these. I would look for these double bottoms to see if people are sort of snatching up what they perceive as good deals after the sell-off today. But regardless of what you're trading, I wish you the best. Please leave comments below if you have thoughts or questions that you'd like to share. Apologies if I don't get back to the comments as quickly as you'd like. Probably don't ask me things there that you're expecting a response on the day of or the next day even. I typically look at those once a week, and it's usually on the weekend when there's less chatter happening. So I'll sort of commit to answering all comments on weekends only, and if I happen to do it during the week, it'll just sort of be bonus. But just think of that when you're putting your comments in there. Just know when to expect a response. All right, I'm just droning on now. I will see you all in the next video.